You tune in to Nightline. I'm Jana Mohammed Zaki. News making the headlines. Passengers flying out of Malaysia to pay up to 150 ringgit for departure tax starting next month. And Indonesia lifts tsunami warning after strong earthquake. Indonesian authorities have cancelled a tsunami warning about 2 hours after a powerful magnitude 7.4 earthquake struck off the islands of Sumatra and the main island of Java. The United States Geological Survey, USGS, said Friday's quake, which struck at about 7 p.m. local time, hit at a depth of 59 kilometers, about 227 kilometers from the city of Teluk Betung on the island of Sumatra. The epicenter, meanwhile, was in the south of Java Island in the Indian Ocean. Earlier, authorities had urged people living near the coast to immediately find higher ground, and thousands of locals had fled their homes in the immediate aftermath of the quake, but thankfully, the prospect of waves of up to 3 meters high did not eventuate. So far, there were no immediate reports of damage or casualties, but strong tremors were felt in Jakarta, the capital, prompting people to run out of office buildings.
Tapi dermaga ya, Pak, itu dermaga tuh. Hiruk-pikuk di kampung bayan.
The departure levy of up to 50 ringgit for ASEAN destinations and up to 150 ringgit for non-ASEAN destinations will be implemented from September 1st. According to the Departure Levy Order 2019, gazetted by the government on July 31st, the levy is fixed at 8 ringgit for economy class to ASEAN destinations and 50 ringgit for other seat classes. For non-ASEAN destinations, the rate is 20 ringgit for economy class and 150 ringgit for other seat classes. The word economy class is interpreted as any class of flights advertised, sold and provided by the airlines in the categories that use economic terms or the equivalent, or that offers the lowest package compared to other packages. The Departure Levy Bill 2019 was passed by both the Dewan Rakyat and Dewan Negara this year. According to the Act, anyone who fails to pay the departure levy, where applicable, may be fined up to 500,000 ringgit, imprisoned up to 3 years, or both. Leadership is not rocket science, but is a lifelong task of learning and experience. Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad said this at a symposium in Selangor on Friday, addressing the meaning of leadership to some 1,000 student leaders from around the world. The Prime Minister emphasized that as much as he wants youths to be competitive and inculcate themselves with capabilities to take on the rest of the world, it is not about dollars and cents, profits and losses, or bottom lines. Speaking at the 10th University Scholars Leadership Symposium 2019 in Shah Alam, the Prime Minister said they must also be willing to work hard and to have pride in their work.
Leadership is a lifelong task of learning and experience. The issue is how we fare as a leader. What kind of impact do we make, and how much of our leadership touches the lives of others. These are essential concerns and ideals that a leader should know and address. An effective leader must possess certain basic qualities and subscribe to certain values.
Tun Dr. Mahathir added another value that was probably underrated was humility, as without it, a leader would be driven by ego. At the same time, one must have integrity and honesty to avoid being corrupt and untrustworthy.
Being humble does not make a leader weak. Instead, it binds him with the people. those who supported him and made him their leader. If a leader loses touch with his people and supporters, he ceases to be a leader. Suffice to say, all the values that have been impressed in our religion, culture, and customs will keep a leader's feet firmly on the ground.
Education Minister Dr. Mazli Malik and Secretary General of Humanitarian Affairs Asia, Kim Solomon, were among those present at the event.
While keeping up to date.
And later on Friday night, in his address at the 100 Most Influential Young Entrepreneurs Award, Tun Dr. Mahathir said the race to create successful entrepreneurs should not mean that values such as integrity and honesty can be sacrificed. The Prime Minister said these values are important if entrepreneurs aim to have sustainability and longevity in their ventures. Without these values, he said success becomes mechanical and would lack soul.
To some, it may sound only about profit, monetary gains, and bottom lines. But more important, as we strive to create successful economic models through entrepreneurship, it is that our entrepreneurs grow alongside noble values, integrity, and honesty.
The award night saw a total of 100 winners from various industries ranging from services, medical, retail, manufacturing and e-commerce. Among them were Malaysian songstress and businesswoman Datuk Seri Siti Nurhaliza Tarudin and legendary Malaysian athletes Datuk Nicole David and Datuk Lee Chong Wei. The Lifetime Achievement Award was presented to Top Glove Corporation Berhad founder and Executive Chairman Tan Sri Dr. Lim Wee Chai. The government is studying a proposal to use electronic monitoring devices EMD on parolees undergoing rehabilitation under the Corporate Smart Internship CSI program. Home Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin said it could reduce the administrative costs involved in managing parolees and supervisees. Speaking to reporters at the launch of the Malaysian Prisons Department CSI program on Friday, Tan Sri Muhyiddin said the EMDs were costly, but participating companies would be given tax exemptions if they absorbed the costs. He said parolees and supervisees in the program would be paid based on their qualifications.
Mereka semua memerlukan tenaga kerja dan mereka yang akan terlibat dalam program ni, bantuan ni pun dilatih. Bermakna bukan mereka ni macam pekerja murah saja, cheap labour. Tapi kalau dilatih ada faedah untuk masyarakat.
A total of 2,928 parolees and supervisees have benefited from the program since it was implemented in 2016. 80 private companies are taking part in the program nationwide. The Kuala Lumpur City Hall will call 11 elevator maintenance contractors involved in 45 public housing projects (PPR) in the nation's capital to check on the condition of its elevators. KL Mayor Datuk Nur Hisham Ahmad Dahlan said the discussion will take place on Saturday to avoid a repeat of an incident that took place at the Kerinci PPR flats on Friday.
Maintenance tu dibuat dengan teratur ke atau ada
Teratur. Tapi saya nak tahu apa benda sebenarnya. Adakah benda lama? Adakah benda lama? Macam kita naik Volkswagen lama kita lah 1958 punya tu. Adakah dia punya brake ke dia punya wiring ke apa? Tapi saya tak fikir sebab dia punya maintenance dia. Kita tengok tadi clear.
He said DBKL will review closed-circuit television CCTV camera footage during the incident and the maintenance log. He reiterated that DBKL did not want to see a repeat of the incident as it involved people's lives. Earlier, 9 residents at the Kerinci PPR flat faced terrifying moments as the elevator they were in crashed from the 5th floor to the ground. With the drop estimated to be at a height of 15 meters, it is believed the elevator car's braking system had malfunctioned in the 2:30 p.m. incident. 4 of them, including a child aged 10, broke their legs in the harrowing elevator ride. 4 other passengers suffered injuries to their ankles. Only 1 walked away without injuries. All 8 victims were sent to the University Malaya Medical Centre. A Royal Malaysian Air Force RMAF Nuri helicopter made an emergency landing in the Gubir Camp, Kedah area at about 3 p.m. today. The RMAF in a statement said the aircraft based at Butterworth Air Base was carrying 4 crew members and 11 Malaysian Army personnel and a resupply mission. Fortunately, all crew members and Army personnel are safe and only sustained minor injuries. The statement also said all of them have been treated by the military medical team on duty at the camp. The RMAF added it will set up an investigation team to identify the cause of the incident. The Kuala Lumpur Sessions Court on Friday charged 2 female directors of the company Mon Space who pleaded not guilty for 3 counts of money laundering. 49-year-old Datuk Sri Lai Chai Shuang and 48-year-old Chai Ling Mui were charged with using the company's bank accounts between June 6, 2016 and July 24 last year. The court allowed both to be billed at 100,000 ringgit each, while remention of the case has been set for September 6. In Terengganu, the Police and Terengganu Religious Affairs Department, Jihad, have been asked to investigate an allegation of a half-naked dance fiesta at a chalet in Pulau Perhentian. State Tourism, Culture and Information Technology Committee Chairman Arifin Duraman said the owner of the chalet could face action if he or she was found to be responsible for organising the fiesta, which went viral on social media since Sunday. He said the chalet could have its license revoked by local authorities if it was found that they had organised such an event. In Lahad Datu, Sabah, a man was seriously injured after his friend slashed him multiple times in what was believed to be an act of revenge. Preliminary investigations found that earlier the week, the victim had scolded the suspect for not washing his plates. Meanwhile, the suspect was nabbed at his workers' quarters and is being investigated for causing hurt using a weapon. Datuk Zakia Hanum Abdul Hamid, who passed away at 12:30 a.m. on Friday at Pantai Hospital, Kuala Lumpur, was laid to rest at the Bukit Kiara Muslim Cemetery after Friday prayers. She was 82. Her death was confirmed by her daughter, Farha Muhammad Noor. Datuk Zakia, who was the first female National Archives Department Director General, leaves behind 3 children and 7 grandchildren. Hailing from Alostar, Kedah, Datuk Zakia began her career with the Archives Department as an assistant archive keeper. She became Director General of the department in 1977, becoming the first woman to hold the post in a federal department. Datuk Zakia was also the first Malaysian woman to receive the Ramon Magsaysay Award. Up next, Nightline's Auto segment with Sabrina Zainal. Stay tuned. Nightline continues with the Auto segment. Toyota has recently unveiled the 2019 Yaris, and it has been a hit among teenagers in Malaysia. And Sabrina Zainal had the chance to take it for a spin. Let's see what she has to say about the car.
Hi, welcome back to another episode of Nightline's Auto segment Hot on Wheels. I'm Sabrina Zainal, and today we get to check out the 2019 Toyota Yaris. So as you can see, I've got all my stuff here because we are going to test out how roomy it is, because apparently having a lot of space is something that the Gen Y and the millennials want. And according to Toyota, they've got the space that we need. So we are going to test it out. I'm going to Genting with my friends, and I'm going to go hiking and play the guitar as well. So that's why I've got all this stuff. Let's get started. Yeah, we've managed to fit in quite a lot of stuff, surprisingly. We've got the guitar, my hiking bag, my other bag, my gym bag, 2 pairs of shoes, emergency kit, and 1 medium-sized luggage and 1 small luggage. So I can say, yeah, it's got a lot of stuff. And if you are like me, you tend to store all your belongings in your car, this is the car for you. So now we are going to see how agile this car is, how it performs. So let's take it out for a spin. The 2019 Yaris is powered by a 1.5-liter VVTi engine that outputs 107 PS and 140 Newton-meters of torque. That's the same as the Toyota Vios, but we are not going to focus so much on the performance today of this car, because I really think this car is meant for city folks, people who are driving or living in the cities. They want a car that can maneuver well, handle well in tight spaces, narrow spaces. So we're going to look at that.
The engine is paired to a CVT automatic gearbox with 7 virtual ratios, which UMW Toyota Motor calls Sport Sequential Shiftmatic Mode. The 2019 Yaris measures 4,145 millimeters long and 1,730 millimeters wide, with a 2,550 millimeters wheelbase, much similar to the Buletin Vios, but the 5-door hatchback's overall length is 280 millimeters shorter. It comes with 3 trim levels, J, E, and G, but all variants are adequately equipped with the necessary active and passive safety features.
Unlike the Honda Jazz, the 2019 Yaris is actually rated a 5-star for the ASEAN NCAP safety rating, which is the maximum you can get. So it has a lot of safety features, including the 360-degree camera, which the Honda Jazz doesn't have, and that's probably my favorite feature. It also has 7 airbags and a blind spot monitoring, and vehicle stability control, among others. In terms of agility, it's doing pretty well. It's supposed to do well at corners and when you're maneuvering, and I think that's because of the McPherson suspension system, as well as the stabilizing bars. So, everything put together, it's a well-sorted car that helps you maneuver well, handle well. You don't get so much of a body roll, to be honest, at corners. So I like that about this car. And it's pretty smooth so far, so it's interesting for me.
The 2019 Yaris that I got to test drive is the top G spec, which further adds on rear disc brakes, chrome outer door handles, and Optitron meter panel with a 4.3-inch TFT multi-info display. It also comes with leather on the steering and gear knob, MID steering buttons, and 6 speakers.
It seems like the Honda Jazz is quite popular, and I'm actually not sure why, because if you're talking about like spaciousness, the Yaris would definitely win in that department, because you've got ample leg room for the front passengers, a lot of headroom as well, and the back seats are actually really spacious. I got to try the back seats earlier, and I would get a lot of headroom. Plus, the seats are slanted. They're not straight like in the Jazz, so when they're slanted, they're much more comfortable. And definitely, that would be a win for the Yaris. Okay, another thing I want to highlight as well is the soundproofing. Toyota has actually made additional improvements in soundproofing in the Yaris, and again, that beats the Jazz in that department.
Five colors are available, and they are Super White, Silver Metallic, Attitude Black, Red Mica Metallic, and the Citrus Mica Metallic. Prices start from 70,888 ringgit for the J, rising to 76,888 ringgit for the E, and 83,888 ringgit for the top G.
Wow, so initially I thought this car would suit a younger generation of buyers, so you know, the Gen Y and millennials such as myself, but after taking it out for a test drive, I found that it actually suits a lot of groups of people, so different types of people. Older people, people with families, if you're single, or if you've got a lot of friends and you're car sharing, because this car is practical and it's a safe hatchback. It's agile and it's got all the room that you're looking for. So yeah, if you're looking for something that's also pleasant looking, it's sporty and trendy, this is it. The Yaris is for you. With that, I'm Sabrina Zainal for Nightline's Auto segment Hot on Wheels. Thanks for tuning in and see you next time. Bye-bye.
Still to come on Nightline, 2 suspects held over Bangkok bombings. Nightline continues. Thai authorities have arrested 2 men in connection with a series of bombings Friday morning that have left at least 4 people injured at a time Bangkok is hosting Southeast Asian security meeting attended by the U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and the Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi. According to officials, there were 9 successful and attempted explosions at 5 locations in Bangkok. The bombs authorities said were improvised explosive devices triggered by timer. The 2 men from the far south were arrested after wires and ball bearings were found in 2 inactive devices outside Thai police headquarters late Thursday in what police said was a linked incident. Their motives, however, were unclear, but it appeared to be symbolic attacks aimed at embarrassing the government during the major summit, but not designed to cause mass casualties. Meanwhile, Malaysians staying or travelling in Thailand have been advised to remain vigilant in light of the bombing incidents in Bangkok. In a Facebook post, the Malaysian Embassy in Thailand advised Malaysians to exercise caution at all times and follow instructions from the local authorities. Malaysians are also encouraged to register themselves with the embassy in Bangkok via email. In case of emergency, contact the embassy via phone number as shown on your screen. The United States has formally withdrawn from a landmark nuclear missile pact with Russia on Friday after determining that Moscow was in violation of the treaty and had no plans to come into compliance with it. According to officials, President Donald Trump made the determination that Washington would terminate adherence to the 1987 Arms Control Accord, known as the Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty, INF, after Russia had deployed multiple battalions of a Russian cruise missile throughout the country with the ability to strike critical European targets in violation of the pact. Russia, however, denies the allegation, saying the missile's range puts it outside the treaty and has accused the United States of inventing a false pretext to exit the treaty, which Washington wants to leave anyway so it can develop new missiles. After this breather, 2019 Malaysia Cup, JDT Terengganu enjoy impressive start. Sports football, the 2019 Malaysia Cup. Terengganu and Johor Darul Takzim kicked off their campaign on high note as they claimed victories over their respective opponents. Terengganu outplayed PKNS FC 3-1 in Group A, while Johor Darul Takzim beat UiTM FC also with the same scoreline in their Group B clash. Diogo Luis Santo gave the home side the lead after 16 minutes before Muhammad Safawi Rashid doubled the advantage in the 65th minute from the spot. Diogo put the result beyond doubt for JDT in the 85th minute as he headed home Corbin Ong's inviting cross. UiTM managed to grab to a goal in the dying minutes through Zarko Koraga's free kick, but it was too little too late to prevent JDT from taking the maximum point. That sports item wraps up Nightline this time around. Before we leave, let's take a look at Taiwan as it opens its largest comic exhibition with 102,000 booths from more than 130 companies participating. The 5-day exhibition, showcasing the latest in comics, anime, gaming, streaming and e-publishing, is expected to draw over 550,000 visitors and rake in $6.43 million in sales. With that, I'm Jana Muhammad Zaki. Thank you for watching and take care.